Hello and welcome to the Blue Monday podcast, discussing the town up or down since 2015. I'm Richard Woodward and you're tuned into an interview special ahead of ITFC Women's 5th round FA Cup tie against Southampton this weekend. Joining me, as you can see on YouTube, not one, not two, but three members of ITFC squad. First up, when it comes to goals, she is the GOAT with almost 150 appearances and just shy of a goal a game record, the club's all-time goal scorer, Natasha Thomas. And down at the bottom of the screen, sharing a camera and keeping things quiet at the other end of the field, a centre-back duo leading a rearguard defensive action which has kept 18 clean sheets in 24 games in League and Cup this season. Off the back of a goal-scoring weekend, no less, Paige, Peake, and after some successful last-minute negotiations by Natasha Thomas, no less, completing the trio, Olivia Smith. Hello to all of you. Let's try and... I'll do it in order so we don't all speak at once. Let's start with Tash. How are you? And how are you feeling in the build-up to the weekend?
Hello, I'm really good, thanks. It's just a great FA Cup. You always buzz for the build-up. I mean, training Tuesday, everyone was really up for it. Good vibes. So, yeah, we're really looking forward to getting going again.
Yep. And start with Paige as well. Off a good headed goal for you on the weekend. You must be happy about that. I want to repeat that one.
Yeah, very happy about it. I've been telling them I'm going to score more headers this season. So, yeah, hopefully I can do it again this weekend.
And Liv as well, a clean sheet, plenty of those, as we were saying. Are you all like good on your stats and stuff like that? Because we'll come back to your goals, Tash, because depending on where you read, the number might be different. But Liv, you've been part of this defence that has kept so many clean sheets. Presumably, that's the foundation of any success for whatever you want to achieve at the weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's important, as well as obviously scoring goals, that we're keeping clean sheets week in, week out. Obviously, it could come down to goal difference at the end of the season. So, yeah, we take pride on keeping clean sheets. So, yeah, it's been important to us.
Grand, yeah. So we will get to know all of you a little bit better. I've got some quick fire questions. I think I've done a little bit of research, so you can correct it for me because I've probably got it wrong. And then we'll speak about the season so far. We'll speak about Southampton, and we'll look ahead to that one. First off, Tash, talk to us about these goals. 114, is that right?
I believe so, yeah.
Believe so, yeah.
Yeah, it's 114.
Yeah.
Just tell him it's higher.
Just keep going. Just you set the number whatever you want. I mean, that, as we said at the start, club's all-time record goal scorer, and you've got plenty of time to go to keep that in that number up as well. So, do you have any targets for that kind of stuff, or is it just all about the team and all about the wins? A bit of both.
A bit of both, really. I haven't really got a target. This season, I wanted to hit, I think it was just over the 20 mark. But at the same time, it's not just all about the goals. I am looking at other parts of my game. And I'd rather work on them as well, because we all know I can score. So it's just work on the whole game and not just about scoring.
Something this season that certainly I've noticed watching the games is how much effort you need to put in to start defending from the front. There's a lot of high press that we do. Is that something you've been working on as well? That
is, yeah, definitely. Not all of us have got the stat sports, but that's a big part of my game this year. So it's nice to look back on the stats, that how many miles we're running and things like that. So, yeah, that is definitely, as I say, from the front to the back. That's where you've got to defend first, haven't you?
Yep. And Paige, we mentioned the goal. We kind of joked about the header, but you're kind of more known for your set piece prowess as well. We spoke to Laf a few months ago. Is it a kind of a paper, scissors, stone situation at the start of the season? Who does what? Or have you kind of both settled on your roles in terms of corners, free kicks and what have you?
No, so obviously I used to take all of the set pieces, but I thought with my height, I'm better used in the box this season. So I kind of passed that responsibility onto Laf in terms of the kind of corners and the wide free kicks where we'd cross it, so I can get in the box and score some headers.
Yeah, good stuff. And I guess the pair of you here, is it? I always, me and Kieren, because I write some match reports for TWTD, and I'm convinced pretty much most of the time it's a back four. Are you going to tell me it's a back three? And therefore, am I singling anyone out of praise when it comes to these clean sheets, both of you? Is it a back four? Is it a back four?
Recently it's been a back three.
Okay, brilliant. Yep, there you go. I told you you need to correct me. That's fine.
But it does kind of chop and change, so keep you on your toes.
Yeah, exactly right, and keep the opposition on their toes as well. How are you finding that the transition between the 3 and the 4? Because it does seem to me that you do that quite a lot throughout the season.
Yeah, I personally enjoy a 3 more because it allows me to get forward a bit more and join in with the attacks. But yeah, I'm happy, very comfortable playing in either, and so is everyone else in the team. So yeah, we're good at adapting to whatever the game needs.
Yep. And Liv, your background's probably a little bit different to Tash and Paige. Obviously London based and came through there. You had a few years in the States. Tell us about that. That must have been exciting.
Yeah, so I was in the States for a year and a half. I left to go to the States when I was 18. Yeah, it was a big move to do at that age. But yeah, I did enjoy parts of it, and obviously there's parts of the experience that have benefited me now. But yeah, I wanted to come home and play here ultimately, so I come back home, and yeah, now I'm at Ipswich.
Yeah, so the move in the summer, was that from Charlton? Or
Yes.
End of contract and then
Yeah,
came here.
from Charlton,
How did it come about, and how have you found it? How have you found your teammates so far as well?
I don't like him. So obviously with Joe, I've known him since I was 15 from school, and then he left the school team to go to Ipswich, but at the time I was at Chelsea, and then I went to America from there, and then when I come home, I went to a few clubs. I was at West Ham, and then I went to London Bees, and then to Charlton. But then obviously in the meantime I'd got a full-time job as well, so Joe said to me to come along and to trial, but I'd already known a lot of the girls from before because I had done a few pre-season training sessions with them, so I already knew what it was about. So yeah, it was really it wasn't really a hard choice to make. I knew I kind of wanted to come there, and it was the right time.
And do you know, have you sort of come across Bonnie and Sarah from a previous life as well, or previous spells? Yeah, so
I played with them at London Bees. I wasn't at Bees very long, but yeah, I played with them at Bees for a short spell, and then we was all reunited. Yeah,
that's nice, isn't it? Yeah, friendly faces. That's what we want. That's very good. Let's do these questions now. I'm kind of intrigued. So what I've got for you is some little short fire stuff, and ideally between the three of you, you can nominate who's the most like what the question is. If not, then you get to drop your teammates in it. So this will be fun, and hopefully no repercussions. Hopefully no one's watching. So the one I was going to start with, just to be a bit of a wind-up merchant, was who takes the best set pieces. But I won't do that to you, Paige, because different set pieces for different needs. So I do want to get off on the wrong foot. So
that's an argument you don't want to start.
Exactly right. I don't want to be involved in that. So let's start with something a bit more professional. How about this? Who's the best trainer?
She's on the show.
Thinking about this one.
I'd say
I don't want to say me, but I want to say me.
Sorry, mate.
Do we agree?
I don't want to say me, but me. Yeah, I'd say Paige, yes.
I would say Paige. I'll give her that one.
Yeah, we'll go with that one. Who's the loudest on the pitch? I don't. So I think
I'd
you've
say
come
it's between me and you, but
I'd probably say Paige. Probably because I stand right next to her and I get it all in my ear.
She gets her eardrums first.
So yeah, I'd probably say Paige, but obviously Tash, she's probably doing her bit down
the other end.
She's just too far away.
Opposite end.
Yeah. Okay. Then who's the loudest off the pitch then?
Out of us three, it would be Liv.
Yeah, I would definitely probably say me.
But in terms of the whole Who's
Maybe
EK
EK?
is quite loud. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe EK.
Yeah.
Shout out to EK. Okay. Who's always on their phone?
I don't think either of us three are on our phones that
No.
much particularly.
No.
It'd probably
I think
be
obviously when we're on the coach, we'll be on it, but that's very rarely.
Yeah.
We're playing Uno and all that.
Uno. You're always on Uno.
I love a game of Uno.
To be fair, there's not one person that sticks out to me that I'm thinking every time I look at you, you're on your
Sitting there.
phone.
No one's on their socials.
Yeah.
That's quite
Fair enough.
good.
Yeah.
That's good. I
It's
totally
actually
agree.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, put the phone away. That's what we want.
We're just we're just so funny. We don't have to go on our phones.
Just talk to each other, human beings.
Yeah,
Who's the
that's
most
what I mean.
skillful? I'm hoping they're on the
Bonnie,
call, but
I'd say Bonnie.
yeah.
Potentially, yeah, or Pesquito.
Or Pesk, yeah. Bonnie and Pesk.
Pesquito.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pesquito.
I think I only call her Pesquito, but I've started doing that recently.
Bonnie, yeah, but Bonnie can pull off a few.
Yeah, I like to think I'm
She
quite
does that
skillful. I've got a few juggling skills in my locker.
Here she goes again, nominating herself. She wants another award.
I'm the most skillful, the best
Pick
trainer.
me.
Yeah, pick me.
If you're not going to back yourself, who else is?
Exactly.
We're going to give it to Bonnie.
Yeah, Bonnie.
Yeah, Bonnie.
with a drop
Sorry,
on the shoulder.
Paige.
Yeah.
I'll accept that one. That's fine.
Who's the most responsible?
Oh,
Dare I say, PC Smith?
No.
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 Not saying me.
I'd probably say Tash.
Yeah.
I think Tash is a bit of a
I do like to stay behind
mother
him.
figure in the group.
Yeah,
We
I'll
taking
take
that one?
I'll take that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
You
Okay.
sound the least responsible.
Yeah, you are.
I'll go then.
right.
I didn't have that one. Who's least responsible then? I'm interested in that one.
Out of us three, would be me.
Yeah, 100% of you, Liv.
Okay. That is not what I
Quite
was.
potentially in the whole team as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like you've
I
got
don't
your
know,
work cut out,
Martin.
Tash, looking after this lot.
I have. Everyone's walking off. Make sure you get cones in this, that. Everyone's walking off and I'm just looking back. Like, come on, girls.
Yeah, I feel your pain.
Oh.
Who's got the best?
For me, though, it's just making sure everything's done so we can get on to the next training bit or getting into the gym or whatnot. It just makes it so much quicker.
Yeah, efficiency.
Good responsibility. I like that. Who's got the best pre-match ritual? I like.
I'd just say, I was going to say Laugh just because she's the most superstitious person I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, even down to who stands next to each other.
Like we're
in the
very
warm-up.
ritual in. So me and Laugh always have to stand next to each other in the warm-ups, and we have like a set thing we do. We all have a set position where we walk out.
Out
in the line.
Yeah.
And
She has to be behind me, doesn't
what order
she? Yeah.
we come out in the changing room, and and she has lots of other bits that, like, we have bits that we all kind of have superstitions, but she's
the next level.
yeah.
She has to listen to certain music as well, doesn't she, on match day?
Yeah.
Love. Well,
Yeah.
you've got to have your
Has to play
routine.
them before she
I was going to say, Tash,
Yeah.
this new pre-match routine that Ross has managed to capture about you floating in mid-air in the walkout as well it's a great skill. That I don't know how you do it or how Ross does it, frankly. Every time.
I don't know. He's just like, I'm always watching now. And I was like, oh, great.
Yeah. We've all been papped by Ross, unfortunately.
Yeah, we have.
Who's the party animal?
Maddie Biggs.
Yeah. It's Big C.
Yep.
Or
that was
Kyra,
great.
For a good night
Kyra
out.
likes a sesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Oh,
Big C's probably top.
Yep. And we'll finish on a football related one. Who's got the hardest shot?
I'd say Lucy Egan.
Oh, yeah.
I think when
or
Lucy Egan
Maddie
catches
Biggs.
one, yeah, true, yeah, one of those two. When they catch it, it's
Yeah,
you don't want to be in the way of it.
Rocket.
Yeah, well, that was a Maddie Biggs hit the bar on the weekend with a great volley, wasn't it? Over the shoulder
Yeah.
kind of volley. That was a great hit. So yeah, Egan and Biggs. There you go. I think we all know a little bit more, maybe too much more about all of you now. That's great. Let's talk about the season so far, because certainly as someone who only started watching the team this year, I was always expecting the kind of step up to be one where it would be more of a challenge. And we spoke to Sophie, and we spoke to Laffy, we spoke to Joe, and I'm just so surprised in such a great way that the target is always constant success. How have you found the move up to the division? And I guess we need to talk about the recent months where, we were talking about the men's team last night against Cheltenham, and teams want to set up to stop you. It's a new type of threat that you've not really come across before. Tash, how have you found the step up?
I think technically we know we can more than can win this league. I think it's mentally and making sure we're not tripping ourselves up really, and making sure our mentality for the game is top notch. And I guess sometimes that isn't. And it's just working on that. And as a team, making sure if we are behind or the game's not going well for us, that we can bring it back, even though we don't have a good game. But yeah, stepwise, I think for us as a team, I think we just know we are capable of more than what we're dishing out now. So I think that is a good sign.
Yeah, Paige, you did a really excellent post-match interview after Crawley on the weekend about mentality and what needs to happen next. We'll talk about Southampton in a bit in terms of the cup, but there are games to be played. There are teams playing each other, so you can't really. It's funny how you focus on the matches we've recently played and forget about basically being at 100% record or totally unbeaten from August onwards to December. So is it just refocusing on that mindset? It's doing all the stuff that Tasha's talking about, but the mindset is just, we've done it already. We just need to do it all over again.
Yeah, I think it's just taking it one game at a time and focusing on us. We can't control other results, but we can control what we do. So I think as long as we keep doing what we need to do to take each game as it comes and hopefully win each game, then that's all we can do really.
Is there, Liv, is there much interest in what's happening around you, other teams, or is it just focusing entirely on what you're doing?
Yeah, I think we focus on the game in hand. Joe's very much like that. We've known about Southampton for a few weeks now, but he was very much like, no, obviously we've got Crawley, and then we had Crawley again. The focus is normally on the game in hand, and we're set on obviously winning one game at a time. Can't look too far ahead because obviously you don't know what that week brings. So yeah, it's more about winning that game and then on to the next really.
Yeah. You mentioned working with Joe previously. He's just now come up to 3 years in the job. I just wanted to get your reflections on working with him. Liv, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so obviously I worked with him when I was at school, and I think someone asked me this the other day, and they said, has he changed in the last 3 years that he's been there? I said that I don't think he's changed as in his morals or how driven he is, and he's always been ambitious, and he obviously wants us to do well and get to the top. And he's always been like that really. So yeah, it's been nice to see the team doing so well. Obviously progressing through the leagues, and then to be a part of that now, it's good. And I feel lucky to be a part of it really.
Yep. And Paige, you've obviously come through the academy at the club and are now in the first team as well. How have you found not only your kind of progression through the team, but working with Joe, and obviously it's a coaching team there as well. How have you found that?
Yeah, so I used to be coached by Joe when I was at Essex RTC as well. So I've been coached by Joe since I was 14. So I've known him for a while as well. But yeah, he's just, I'd say kind of his best attribute is his attention to detail. He never misses a thing, and he's so passionate about winning, but also developing us as players and making sure hopefully us as a team at Ipswich reach the heights together that we can, but if not, then individually we reach the heights in our career that we all want to. Yeah,
Tasha, it feels like there's definitely that attention to detail. We've spoke to Joe just around Christmas time, and he's got a vision for the future, and it must be exciting to be part of that and the kind of positive trajectory that the club has got kind of on and off the field at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. We're all here for the same goals. If we weren't, I don't think we would be here. I've never been managed by anyone like Joe, to be honest, in a good way. Because if anything, everyone, if you're listening, no, because I didn't have analysis or anything before. Joe just picks out things that ideally I never really looked at before because I didn't think was a thing. And that's improved my game a lot. I think off the ball, like I say, not scoring week in, week out, but defending from the front, that is something that has really come on this season, I think, and that is down to him pointing it out to me when we have chats and things. So his style is great, and I think you can see that within the team that it's working.
Yep. And it only helps with attracting people coming to play for the club as well, which only bodes well for the future as well. Just very quickly as well for you, Tash, we need to congratulate you being you're one of the ambassadors for the ITFC Community Trust, which was announced late last year. Talk to us about that. I mean, that's great, and a further sign of hopefully the ties between the women's and the men's teams, which are only getting stronger.
Yeah, exactly. It's just nice for myself being in Suffolk. I live in Lowestoft, so it's just over an hour or so away. For me, when I was younger, there wasn't opportunities like there is now. So being where I live, it's great because I go to a couple of schools and things, just to tournaments, to see all the little girls' faces and how excited they are just to see you. I think it's great. So it's just nice to give back, really, and support those around you that want to do what you're doing and hopefully get to the heights that you get to.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, good stuff. And all the best with that. And let's talk about FA Cup finally. We're 20 minutes in, and we'll talk about the big one. Firstly, in terms of FA Cup, talk to us briefly, Paige, about the Newcastle win, because I think a lot of people probably saw on paper it's a team from the lower division, but this is a team that I think all but one of their matches they were unbeaten apart from one match. Sorry, I'll get my words out eventually. So, a really fearsome team at home, and I'd scored in every home game as well, and then to go away to score the goal and to keep the clean sheet in that kind of atmosphere must give you guys so much confidence, not only for the for the Southampton game, for the rest of the season.
Yeah, like you said, regardless of the tier they're in, if a team's used to winning and has that momentum with them, that it's going to be a difficult game anyway, because you know they're not going to push over easily, and they're going to keep fighting. So yeah, it was a battle. We obviously got that early goal, which I think helped us a lot because we could manage the game a lot better throughout. But yeah, obviously the crowd was, it was a great atmosphere, and obviously it's a different atmosphere because we've had home crowds that are all with you, but being the away team and having that crowd like against you is a new experience. And yeah, the fact that we managed to kind of keep the ball out of the net as much as the crowd was trying to like force it in, was great. It was a great day.
Yep. We'll talk to Kieren shortly about all the stuff about tickets and stuff like that for the weekend. But Liv, talk to us about the kind of opposite effects that obviously we all want for Sunday of getting people in packing out the Goldstar Ground. Talk to us about that kind of edge that of the full kind of ground would give all of you.
Like, I think when you're playing and you've got that chant behind you, like Paige, like against Newcastle, that did give them a massive drive towards the end. Like the last 20 minutes, we was under so much pressure, and I think that did come from the crowd as well, because obviously when the crowd's like cheering, literally like they was cheering over getting like throw-ins and like corners. And I think at one point they had like 4 or 5 corners in a row, and like the pressure was proper building up. And obviously you had the crowd, and like I know how it feels to be on the other side of that, and like you have got like that like other corner and another corner in a row, and you've got the crowd behind you. It does definitely give you like that extra push. And I think like we need all the support we can get Sunday, because it's going to be obviously a really good game, and there are rivals in the league. But yeah, it doesn't matter if it's in the league or in the cup. Like we always want to beat Southampton. Like that doesn't matter.
They've become like a new bogey team for us, haven't you? Which is, I mean, great, because it's a team with similar ambitions to us, isn't it? But funny how these kind of things work out. Tash, you obviously scored against Southampton already this season, and you presumably I know you've got competition now from Paige when it comes to headed goals, but you'll be hoping to repeat that feat, no doubt, at the weekend.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, we've just got to go into it, fresh slate, go into it. It's a one-off game, so we've just got to pour our hearts out and hope to get the win and make history again.
Exactly right. Yeah, history, furthest progress ever. We're not going to talk about the next round yet because we'll talk about the next round when it happens. But the season is not over, is it? There's plenty of football still to be played. I've mentioned Southampton's. They've got so many games in hand. It's crazy. There'll be a point where those games surely will catch up with them. They kind of have games postponed 1 week and then they'll have a rush of games the next. They've got to play Oxford twice. So presumably, whatever happens the weekend, the confidence is still high to get some successful outcome for the rest of the season.
Exactly. The rest of the season, obviously, we know we've got to get as many wins as we can. As I say, the FA Cup's a one-off game. It is something to take our mind off the league and then we can reboot again and then go back and get the wins that we need to hopefully get us promotion.
Exactly right. And hopefully we're talking about a quarter-final tie in a few weeks as well. To all of you, thank you so much for your time and for joining this call. I hope it wasn't too much of a chore. And on behalf of the podcast, and on behalf of people listening and watching as well, we've got so much pride with what the team's doing. We're all behind you. Hopefully there'll be a big number of people at the Goldstar to see it in person as well. But all the best for Sunday and all the best for the rest of the season as well.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Welcome to Kieren, who's been silently watching the last few minutes. Hopefully nothing there that you have to act upon after we finish recording, Kieren. First off, how are you? And secondly, this is a core part of the squad. What are your thoughts on the trio that we've got here?
Yeah, doing well, thanks, Rich. Thanks for having me back on. I hope they've been behaved. That's the most important thing. But yeah, no, you've got three players here that are a massive part of the team, massive part of what we're trying to do going forward. Have played a lot of games, a lot of minutes between them this season, and have made an immense contribution and are going to be three very, very important players. I mean, every player is important, but these are three players that are going to be vital to this weekend. And I couldn't speak highly of the three of them. They're fantastic players, fantastic characters, and I'm pleased to be able to work with them every week.
There you go. That's what we want.
Oh,
nice words. Well done, Kieren. This is a loving now. This is great. We talked about the fixture. We've talked about Southampton. Talk to us about making Sunday as big an event as we can. Obviously, we've talked about the 12th man advantage. You and I have talked about True Blue every week, but this is a time, if you've ever been umming and ahhing about whether now is the time to go, and also to keep going afterwards, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a time to make a real statement, I think. I'll let you into a little insight. My phone and my emails have been absolutely exploding for the last 48 hours. I think this is going to be the biggest media presence we have ever had at a game. So this is a time for us to really make our mark in the women's game, get to the quarterfinals for the first time, make club history, make the supporters proud, make the club proud, but also really make a mark in terms of putting ourselves on the map from a national perspective, let alone obviously what we're doing in our own division and in the region at the moment. So look, this is going to be, up there with one of the biggest games we've played in the last few years. Could arguably be the biggest game we've played in the last few years. And it's important that we get a crowd down there to really get behind us, because that could make such a significant difference. I've said that over the past couple of weeks, that if we can get a record crowd down there and the atmosphere is almost similar or even better than what we had in that Norwich game a couple of years ago, obviously Paige and Tash will remember that really well, and how much of a difference that made to the performance that night, then it would be fantastic. But also it could have the, another effect. Southampton have got to come here. They've got to come and play in front of our crowd, in front of our fans, in front of our atmosphere, and that can present a whole load of new challenges in itself. So if we can deliver off the pitch, then I'm sure the girls will deliver on it.
Yep. And you've been making it so easy for people to get tickets as well. Briefly, just mention how folk can do that. Yeah,
it's quite simple. So it's available via ITFC tickets. So whenever you go onto ITFC tickets to buy your home tickets for the men's games. It's on the webpage right there. Really simple booking process. And you can get your tickets, guarantee yourself a space at the ground, and come down. Let's get the biggest crowd that's ever been at the Goldstar Ground. I was reliably informed this week that although the ground holds 2,200, the record there is 1,500 for a fixture. And that was when Felixstowe played Coggeshall and Ollie Mers was in attendance. So there were a lot of Ollie Mers fans in the ground. Ipswich Town Women are bigger than Ollie Mers. So I'm just saying it.
Just get Ed Sheeran.
There's no reason why we can have our record attendance as a club, but also for the Goldstar Ground as well. That'd be amazing. And wow, what an atmosphere that would be if there was over 1,500 people in the ground. And yeah, I mean, that could become like Anfield on a Champions League night.
Banging the advertising hoardings. That's what we want. Great stuff. Again, all of you, thank you so much for speaking to us. All the best, Kieren, for all of your media stuff like that you're going to have to sort out. And
yeah,
so
thanks for that.
Yeah, sorry. We'll try and help out. We'll do some retweets and stuff like that. That'll sort you right out. But to the three of you, to Tash, to Liv, to Paige, as we said, all the very best. The season has been a massive success so far anyway, and we know that you can just maintain that level and do even better. And we're proud whatever happens. I'm looking forward to the long old drive back from Morecambe on the Saturday. And I wish you all the best for that. And hopefully, as I said, we can chat about a quarterfinal draw in a few weeks' time as well.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers,
Lovely.
Rich.
Thanks for having us on.